If you want your finances to free you instead of enslave you, I'm going to read you something that will equip you to conquer humanity's biggest illusion called financial freedom. Then, so that you don't have to be a slave to the idea of freedom, I'm going to break down 4 realities you need to simplify the entire process and make it real. Make it so that this freedom is actually possible. Okay, so here's the reading. So I decided there is nothing better than to enjoy food and drink and to find satisfaction in work. Then I realized that these pleasures are from the hand of God. One more time. So I decided there is nothing better than to enjoy food and drink and to find satisfaction in work. Then I realized that these pleasures are from the hand of God. Reality number 1, you are chasing the wind. Reality number 2, you're doing too much. Number 3, you're moving too slow. And number 4, you're still thinking like you're poor. With this passage I just read you as the basis, and with these 4 realities, we're going to learn how to be free and not just rich. I have other videos on my channel if you want to go check those out on how to become rich. But today we're going to talk about how to be free. But what does that mean? Number 1, what does chasing the wind even mean? And to illustrate this idea, let's picture yourself literally going outside, and every time there's a burst of wind, go and chase it. Okay. Now, when you do this, you'll notice a couple of different things. 1, if your goal is to chase the wind, you're doing it, right? You're not doing much, but I mean, you are chasing the wind. If that was your entire goal, just to chase the wind, you're doing it. If your goal, however, is to catch the wind, you'll never be able to hold the wind. You'll never be able to give it to somebody else. And let's say by some miraculous, some miracle, something happens where you're actually able to catch the wind, there will always be more wind to chase, right? So ultimately, what does chasing the wind mean? It means you're doing something that you're never going to be able to hold, never going to be able to give to somebody else, and therefore it's meaningless. You're chasing something, yes, but you're never actually going to accomplish anything. Now, there are multiple places in the Bible that refers to this. They use the saying, chase the wind. But when it comes to finance, when it comes to building wealth or just work in general, this is what we call the rat race. Now, I know as soon as I said rat race, everybody immediately, because of social media, we all think, oh, employees are a 9-to-5 slave, right? Employee is not a bad word, and it's not the worst thing in the world to be an employee. The only thing is you can be free and rich as an employee just as you can be free and rich as a business owner. But all things equal, I think no matter what, a successful entrepreneur will always have a little bit more freedom than a successful employee. That's why we think of, when I say rat race, I'm not just talking about employees, because you can be trapped as a business owner. I know many of them. I know many people who think because they don't have a job, they're an entrepreneur, and so they're still in the rat race. Technically, I guess they're business owners. We help people identify whether they're self-employed or business owners all the time. That's part of our business. But just because you're an employee doesn't mean you're in the rat race. You can be free and rich in the rat race. The thing is, they both have problems. Okay, being an employee, if you do it properly, you can become free, you can become rich, but the goals and the objectives are different from the goals and the objectives of a business owner, and therefore they both have their own problems. The employee, their problem is, well, they need more time for themselves to not work. The business owner is they need more time to work on their business, right? To scale, to do all these different things. So everybody has their problems. Okay, when I say rat race, when I say you're a slave to the idea of financial freedom, I'm not only referring to employees. If you were, what I'm referring to, this is what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to as being a slave to the idea of financial freedom is you are working to be rich rather than free. We're all chasing financial freedom, right? Financial freedom, but we forget we're chasing financial freedom. We're not chasing finances, but most people are chasing the status of being rich rather than free, and it's ultimately meaningless. Okay, now today, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. I don't care what your political beliefs are, but he is an amazing entrepreneur. Right? I mean, he's the richest man in the world today. Let's say Elon Musk passed away today. Who is now the richest man in the world? Anybody else other than Elon Musk, right? So if Elon Musk is chasing the status of rich, it's meaningless. When he passes away, it's meaningless unless he sets it up in a way to continue helping somebody else, to continue helping his family, setting it up in a way where he's leaving behind a legacy. That's where it becomes meaningful. Okay? Because it's not bad to be wealthy. It's also it's not bad or good to be wealthy. Right? Chasing rich is meaningless. Chasing free has meaning, but it's not bad to be rich. In so I already read you Ecclesiastes 2 verse 24. But 2 verses down, I really like this passage. This should answer it for you. It's not good or bad to be wealthy. 2 verse 26 says, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and joy to those who please him. But if a sinner becomes wealthy, God takes the wealth away and gives it to the one who pleases him. This too is meaningless, like chasing the wind. Okay, so a couple of things. I could make an entire video about this. Actually, I did. So subscribe if you want to go see that one. I forget what it's called, but I did make an entire video about this. But to break this passage down very simply, becoming wealthy is not always a blessing. If a sinner becomes wealthy, that means you can become rich on your own. You can become rich using God's principles, but using it for your own agenda. That doesn't mean it's a blessing just because you're rich. Being rich without a purpose is just a distraction. It's not a blessing. If a sinner becomes wealthy, God takes it away and gives it to the one who pleases him. So to answer the question, is it wrong to be rich, or why are all the rich people evil? This one answers it. If it was wrong to be rich, why would God take it away and give it to the one who pleases him? It's not wrong to be rich. God has all the principles in place for everybody to become rich, everybody to become wealthy. Everybody can use them though. That doesn't mean they use them with the right intents, with the right purpose, right? So it's not wrong to be rich, but this tells us what it means, or what happens if a sinner becomes wealthy. But what happens if a good person becomes wealthy? Proverbs 13:22, it says, "Good people leave an inheritance to their children's children, but the sinner's wealth passes to the godly." So yet again, we do see that sinners can become wealthy, but so can good people. Right? It's not about the wealth. It's not about the money. God doesn't actually care about your money or your wealth status. He cares about the person. Both can become rich. Both can be poor. Right? Good people can be poor. Good people can be rich. Bad people can be poor. Bad people can be rich. The only common denominator is that it's people. One has money, one doesn't. Right? But this one tells us what happens if a good man becomes wealthy is he makes sure he leaves it to his kids. He passes down a legacy, because the truth is you will pass down a legacy. It will be a legacy of debt, or it will be a legacy of wealth. Those are real. In the world that we live in today, if you pass away, somebody still has to pay some kind of expenses. You're passing down debt, or you're passing down wealth. And a lot of people will say, well, this is not talking about literal money or wealth. And that's okay, but there's a reason why the Bible consistently uses this as an example, talks about finance so often, because it is included. Yes, there is a wealth of knowledge and information. That is true. Spiritual wealth. Yes, but there's also physical resources. There is a home. There's some kind of inheritance. If you pass away and your wealth dies with you, it was meaningless. Your entire life, you got rich, but you were chasing the wind. You couldn't take it with you to heaven. You couldn't even give it to this person behind you. It was meaningless. That's what that means. So do not chase the wind. Chase freedom, not riches. Okay, but with this being said, leaving behind a legacy, that brings us to today's sponsor, which is me. I am my own sponsor. This is what my team and I help people do. We help people build up their wealth, accumulate their wealth, protect their wealth, and then leave behind a legacy. So if that's something you're interested in, you don't want to do it on your own, you can check the links in my description. But number 2, you are doing too much. And this is not about work ethic. It's part of it. And this is not to say you're doing too much, so stop working. What I'm really saying is you need to find a way to work smarter and not just always work harder. Because your work ethic only takes you so far. As crazy as that is, I mean, certain parts of your life just takes pure grit, right? It just takes pure work ethic. But that only takes you so far. And I think a lot of this comes down to pride and arrogance. And let me give you an example. If I gave you the option, if you had to clean the floor, let's say you had to, if I gave you the option of using a toothbrush or a mop, what would you do? The smartest route is to take the mop, right? But some people, as crazy as it sounds, some people would rather use the toothbrush because at the end of the day, they can say they worked hard. They're sweating. They left their blood, sweat, and tears on the floor. I don't know, whatever. But they didn't really do anything, right? I did the same amount of work, but I did it more efficiently by using a mop. That's why we have different tools. If you're going to chop down a tree, don't just swing at the tree with a dull axe. Sharpen the axe. That's the value of wisdom. Another proverb. It's not enough to work hard if you're not working smart. And let's use the same passage, chasing the wind. A clear sign that you're doing too much is that you're running, but you're not actually going anywhere. If your goal was to chase the wind, then you're doing it, but you're not accomplishing anything. You're still just chasing the wind. You're never actually going to accomplish anything. So you can do it better, but do it faster. You can do it better and do it faster. That's the value of wisdom. It helps you just live life a little bit better. Okay, now again, let me come back. I'm not saying stop working. That's not at all what I'm saying. I work 7 days a week, and I've done that for the last 30, 40 days, and I'm not tired because I'm doing what God's called me to do. And again, I can make a whole another video about that. But God placed Adam and Eve in a garden to work. So yes, I'm not saying to stop working, but enjoying food and drink and finding satisfaction in your work, that's a blessing. That's straight from God, to be able to work and enjoy what you do. God placed Adam and Eve in a paradise to keep it, maintain it. So work, finding satisfaction in it, is a blessing, right? So there's a time and place for everything. If you truly find satisfaction in working hard, even though you're not doing anything, it's a blessing, I guess, right? But here's what we can do. To make this a little bit better. Instead of doing too much, just do the right amount. So that means you need to know when to quit and know when to delegate. Okay, I'm going to read you. Actually, I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to tell you what happened. In the middle of his work week, in Exodus 18, in the middle of his work week, Moses is working and his father-in-law comes to visit him. And he watches him throughout the day, and what he notices is that Moses works day and night, but all the people around him, they just sit around and watch just as he was doing. He was just there to observe. And so he comes up to Moses and says, you're working hard, right? There's that work ethic. There's that pride. You're working hard. But what are you really trying to accomplish here? Because if you're trying to get stuff done, this is not the way to do it. What are you really trying to accomplish here? Why are you working day and night while everybody around you just sits around and watches? What are you really trying to accomplish here? And here is the pride, the arrogance of a work ethic that doesn't really do anything. Moses responds, well, this is my job. My job is to give them God's instructions and to handle their disputes. This is what God told me to do. I do the work, right? And it's a sense of pride. It's like, I work hard, right? That's what a lot of the person scrubbing the floor with a toothbrush. I worked hard. Yes, but you didn't do much. So he tells him, if this is too much for one person to handle, why don't you just select a group of these leaders, a group of good, honest men who hate bribes? Why don't you select from them, turn them into leaders, give them the abilities, train them up to handle the common disputes, while everybody else sends the major ones to you? And so Moses does it, and surprise, surprise, everything works out better. Moses is not working day and night like a dog while everybody else just sits around. And not only that, it's not just easier on Moses, it's easier for the other people not having to wait for Moses dealing with every single thing, because he can't get to everybody in one day. But now there are other leaders who are trained up to also help. So everybody's getting more help. So know when to quit, know when to delegate. Besides this, and it even tells us Moses does this and everybody's better for it. It does tell us that. Besides this, though, in Proverbs 23, verse 4, it says, don't wear yourself out trying to be rich, Be wise enough to know when to quit. Okay, so if you becoming rich is coming at the cost of your health and your family, you're chasing the wind, right? You are chasing rich instead of free. The only point of being rich is to be free, but if you're chasing rich and you're still a slave to your job or to your business, you're not free and you're not rich. Who cares how much money you have? The other side of this, knowing when to quit, is success typically is not a straight line up. That's what most people are expecting, or they're expecting it to just go like shoot up. Oh, I have the system. I put money in. Where's my money back? Right? It doesn't look like that. Not like a straight line straight up. It's more of like a Nike logo where it starts up high, it drops, and then goes up. See, what usually happens is people start here, they're all excited about their new business, and maybe they get some early success, but then things drop. And that's where they quit. They're like, man, I was super excited, but it's not even working. But they didn't even give themselves a chance to shoot up. Most people are quitting at that downturn and stopping, and they're eliminating any chance of actually moving past that downturn. And so they quit and try something new, and then they come back up to the top and they're all excited again until it drops again, and then they quit. So it's just a never-ending cycle. So when do we quit? And I like this idea. I'm not going to take credit for it. I'm not going to pretend like I came up with it, but it just makes sense. Alex Hormozi, he simplifies everything. Okay, I mean, if you had an idea, he's got an idea, but he's put it into words that are so simple everybody can understand it. More, better, new. Okay, just remember those 3 words. More, better, new. Before you quit, ask yourself, can I do more? If the answer is yes, then do it. If the answer is no, or whether or not it's yes or no, now ask yourself, can I do what I'm currently doing a little bit better? If the answer to those 2 are no, if you can't do more, you can't do it better, then go try something new. In my business, I work with people, and so of course we have people problems. If you're looking to diversify your income, again, sponsor my own video. We're looking for good people. Anyways, the biggest problem in our business is people problems. And they follow that same cycle. They get all excited, but then they find out it's not just going to be handed to them, and so they quit and never give themselves a chance to actually win anything. Right? So what happens is they make a phone call and it works, and so they're all excited, and we make a sale or we get a new business partner, do whatever, I don't know, we get a win, right? And then the next phone call, same exact thing, it works, great, and then they get bored of making phone calls, and so they try something different. They quit making phone calls and they try something different, I don't know, just literally anything else, and then it drops, their business drops because they stopped doing what worked, right? You can make money, you can build a business by making phone calls, you can build a business by making content, you can build a business by knocking on doors, you can literally build a business contacting people in any way, making cold calls, I don't care. You can do any of those things. Not if you keep quitting every time you get bored. Before you move to a new method, start up here. Yes, there will be the downturn, but if you do a little bit more, you come back up. If you do more and start adding making it a little bit better while you also do more, now it scales. Now, I mean, you're not following that cycle anymore. Yes, if the phone calls work, make the phone calls. Can you also do a little bit more and make content? Yes, you can do both. You should do both. That's what I do. I make phone calls, I send DMs, but I also make content. I needed to do a little bit more. I needed to scale, so I did more. Now, with YouTube, perfect example, I'm doing it a little bit better. YouTube, I'm not at the stage where I need to do it a little bit better because I don't get views yet. 99% of people are not subscribed, and that's okay because it's new, but now I'm in the stage of doing more. When it comes to phone calls, I'm great at making phone calls. Now I just need to make sure I do it a little bit better. Okay, so more, better, new. Don't quit until you've tried more, until you've tried doing it better. If those still don't work, then do something new. Okay, but also, before I move on to the next reality number 3, we need to take a lesson from Moses. You as a business owner, I mean, I'm mainly talking to business owners now, but also employees, I mean, everybody. Your job is not to major in the minors. Meaning for me, let me use myself. For me, my job is growth and expansion. I should not be majoring in the minors, meaning I should not be spending 90% of my time filling out applications. I should be spending 80% of my time making content, reaching new people, training other people to help them expand. That's what I should be doing. My focus, my priority is growth and expansion, so I should not be putting all my focus and attention and energy towards something like filling out applications, doing paperwork, communicating with people that don't know how to get licensed, right? That's not my job. For me, I should be hiring somebody to do that, or I should have a team that should be able to do that. And eventually, when I get the right amount of quantity for YouTube, start making it a little bit better, I'm going to hire a team to edit, a team to hire, a team to come up with titles. For now, that's all on me because I still don't even know what I'm doing yet. I need the quantity in order to find the quality, but I should not be majoring in the minors. Don't do things that aren't moving. If you can hire it out, this is all I'm saying. If you can hire it out, then hire it out. Moses did not need to do all that on his own. He was doing too much. All he had to do was train other people to do what he did for the common disputes, and now everybody was better for it. He was no longer majoring in the minors. He was handling the major disputes, not the minor disputes. Okay? So don't do too much. Do less, but make it efficient. As long as you can do more and efficiently, then do it. Don't quit before you lose, though. Or don't quit before you see the success, before you win. If you quit every single time, then you're always losing. If you don't want to lose, then stop quitting. Okay. Third one, reality number 3, is that you are moving too slow. And this comes down to making more decisions, because successful people, they make more decisions. But here's the thing. Doing nothing versus doing something is still a decision. You still decided to do nothing. You still decide to do something. They're both decisions. The difference, though, is that deciding to do nothing leaves you with no other option for other decisions to be made. Doing something leads you down a track of next decision. If you do nothing, you're not giving yourself the option or the opportunity to make other decisions. It'll always come back to you. In this, I mean, you're trapping yourself in a cycle. And there's another passage in Ecclesiastes. We're heavy on Ecclesiastes today. It's Ecclesiastes 11:4. A lot of people think they're being patient when really they've just decided to do nothing. If that is you, if you're busy but you're not actually productive, farmers who wait for perfect weather never plant. If they watch every cloud, they never harvest. The perfect example will never just appear at your front door. Choosing to do something is the only decision that opens up the door for other options, for other possibilities. You gotta do something. Successful people make more decisions, though, because they have more clarity. They have vision. Where there is no vision, people perish. They have clarity in the direction, not in every single step. They figured out, really what they do is they figured out along the way. And this is the problem I had when I first started business and social media. I mean, well, actually, let's keep using YouTube. It would take me at least 4 weeks to produce one video on YouTube, because I was researching every single word to say, and I was memorizing word by word a script, which is why if you go and look at my old videos, it's actually, I might have delisted them or made them private. But my old videos are only like 8 minutes, and there's a cut in between like every other sentence. At most, I had a paragraph where there was no cut. That's because I was trying to memorize every single word. I scripted it out word for word. But I couldn't find the quantity. I couldn't find quality because I didn't have the quantity, right? I just had to start. Now, I have 0 edits in my videos. There might be an edit in this video because I forgot one of the passages that I thought was really important. I'm not going to tell you which one. You'll probably see it. But Making more decisions allows you to move in the right direction. You don't need to know every single step along the way. I don't think that's for you to know, even if you could. Your job is to understand the direction God wants you to go in and go. Make the decisions along the way. You can't make every decision before you've decided to start. So start and make decisions as you go. That way, the truth is you'll never be perfect. Reality is, you're moving too slow, but the reality is that even when you're really, really good at what you do, you're probably only going to be right about 80% of the time. And for the other 20% where you're wrong, you can fix those things. You can always come back and fix them. But you can't do that until you start. So you just got to make more decisions. But why don't people make more decisions? I think that's an important question to ask, because this may be you. A lot of people would rather coast through life because if you don't make any decisions, you have no responsibility, right? If I didn't tell you to do, have you ever done that where you're with a group of friends and somebody gets hurt or somebody gets in trouble? Hey man, I didn't tell you to do that. I was with you every step of the way. I didn't say to do that though, right? It's to eliminate the responsibility, to take the accountability away from you. It's on everybody else from you, because if you don't make a decision, nobody can blame you, right? That's really why we don't make more decisions. But let me read you this. Take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. Learn from their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler or to make them work, they labor hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. But you, lazy bones, how long will you sleep? When will you wake up? A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. Now, that's pretty clear. That's Proverbs 6, verse 6 to 11. Proverbs 6, chapter 6, verse 6 to 11. Even the ants know to just get up and work. Even the ants know that. Because nothing gets done until somebody does something, right? You deciding to do nothing is still a decision. Why does somebody need to tell you to get up and work for you to just get up and do what you got to do? You should be doing it anyways. Why does somebody need to tell you to do that? Laziness is a decision. If you're making, I like how, again, Alex Hormozi, great guy. I take a lot of inspiration from him. If your goal is to make $1 million, but you're only making 50 grand now, you're deciding to make 50 grand, but you're not really making 50 grand. You're losing out on 950 grand. Your goal is $1 million. Making no decision, no, sorry, let me take that back. Inaction is still a decision. Where you are now, you got there through a series of decisions. A decision to act or not to act. You not making $1 million is a series of decisions. You making $1 million is a series of decisions. You are not making 50 grand, you're losing out on 950,000. Right? And again, look at my YouTube channel as an example. I have no data, so I can't make anything better. And it was really just one decision to get more views. If you want to get more views, make more videos. It's one decision away. And then you just got to decide to do it. And then you just got to decide to post it. It's really just a series of information you've made based off of decisions, right? The law of large numbers. We are very big on this in the financial industry as well, just really in business. The more numbers you have, the law says the more numbers you have, the more information you have to make a correct decision. If you don't ever do anything, if you don't ever go out and work like the ants do, you're never going to have information to go out and work. You're never going to have information to make a proper decision. So go out and do things. All right, reality number 4, and do not leave. This is the last one. If you made it this far, I mean, congratulations. I'm at minute 30 about so far. But this one, reality number 4, is you're thinking like you're poor. Even though you want to be rich and you're trying to be rich, you're still thinking like you're poor. You might even be rich, but you're still thinking like you're poor. Okay, and to build ultra wealth, and I'm not there yet, but I can only give you my opinion and what I've read and what I've been told by other very, very wealthy people. That's the best way to learn, is to just borrow their experience. Is that, yes, you do need discipline, and we're going to talk about that. But ultimately, if you want to be ultra successful and be ultra wealthy, be able to help a ton of people, you also need fulfillment in what you do. You need to find satisfaction in work. That's a pleasure directly from the hand of God. That's a blessing directly from God. But it's not about doing what you love. If you do what you love as work, eventually what you love becomes work. I know a lot of artists, they think that making music is going to be, because they love making music, that it's going to be the best thing for the rest of their life, and they're going to love making music for the rest of their life. But then they find out, if what they love is their work, they cannot focus anymore on what they love, even though they're doing what they love as work. Okay, here's what I mean. You want to make music, but you want to live off of that music. You can make the music if that's what you love doing, but now you need to focus on marketing. Now you need to focus on sales. Now, even if you love the song, nobody else does, you don't live anymore, right? You have no living anymore. Sports, I forget who it was, but there's tons of examples. Doing what you love, it's a job. Now it's a job. So it's not about doing what you love. It's not about following your passion. I don't care how many people you've heard say follow your passion. It doesn't work. You can fall in love with what you do, though. It's not about doing what you love. It's about loving what you do. It's about being content with where you are. For me, I was thinking about this yesterday, which is why I'm talking about it today. I was thinking about, there's this visualization activity where you make a highlight reel of your life, and then you vision stack. So you stack a vision on top of it. And eventually, this is from Think and Grow Rich, I believe. It's called vision stacking, and eventually your brain doesn't know the difference. You're thinking about your life and what you have done, while stacking on top of it what you will do or what you want to see. You're visualizing where you want to go, the direction, right? The clarity. And eventually your brain doesn't know the difference anymore, and so you start acting as if you already have those things, which is what attracts them. And that's how you attract things. It's not manifestation. That's not real. You actually put yourself in the mindset to actually do what you love doing, and do it the proper way. But I was doing this, and I realized I was making this highlight reel of myself, and I couldn't think of like the big moments. What I could think of was me working in a coffee shop just with a nice strawberry matcha, just my tea that I make, and all these different things. It was very simple, but that was my highlight reel. And I realized God created me to work, right? The fulfillment. I love what I do. It's not the most glamorous. It's not the biggest, the flashiest thing in the world. But if you can be content and satisfied and happy with what you do and the small things of your everyday life, you'll find fulfillment, and you'll be able to work forever. I said that. I've been working 7 days a week for like the last 30, 40 days, maybe 50, I don't know. But it's because it's not work, and it's not because I chose to do what I love for work. It's because the work that I do, I love it, right? Finding enjoyment and satisfaction in the small things in that way. If you want to be wealthy, that requires time. Now you can work for very long periods of time without needing like the breaks or the vacations, right? Because life is just good. That's the fulfillment of things. Life is good, and this is how you start thinking like you're rich. But there is also the discipline to it. And I've noticed, again, talking to people who are much wealthier than me, is they train their mind specifically to think rich, and that's how you build the discipline. So training your mind includes telling yourself who you are. So like the affirmations, I'm going to talk about it because it's not what you're thinking, but also surrounding yourself with the right people, which obviously for somebody like me who's not ultra wealthy yet, I'm seeing the habits of the ultra wealthy, of the people that I am around. And really what it comes down to is being ultra wealthy is just practicing the habits of the ultra wealthy. So being able to live with them and see their daily routines, their lives. I know if I just keep doing what they do over time, I'm going to be ultra wealthy just as they are, or if not more. right? So surrounding yourself with the right people, but training your mind. So this is the visualization. Yes, it is important. It's not crazy. Just do it. Training your mind. Affirmations matter, but it's not about you just telling yourself, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have a Lambo. Not how it works. It needs to be attached to emotion. And this is even a biblical thing. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Because your inner thoughts, your innermost thoughts of who you are is eventually who you become. Because who you believe you are is displayed through your actions. Your innermost thoughts come out through your actions, right? So it has to be attached to emotion. It has to be attached to emotion, but backed up by action, right? So you cannot just scream affirmations and believe something's going to change. It's not going to work like that, okay? You need to actually believe it, but you only believe it if you act on it. And the worst part is why you need to train your mind and protect it so much is because there are studies that have been done that show about 90% of your thoughts throughout the day are repeating thoughts, meaning everything I've thought about today is really 90% of it is really not original. I thought the same things yesterday. Only about 5-10% are original new thoughts, like you've learned something new, you've thought something new, which is kind of crazy to think about, but when you kind of reflect, write everything down, I mean, you'll see 90% of your thoughts are not original. You thought the same thing yesterday. But then of all of your thoughts, separate studies have shown that about 85% are negative thoughts. When you combine those things, what you're doing is you're constantly repeating negativity to yourself. That negativity might come from you, self-talk, but it also might come from social media, from other people, which is also why you need to surround yourself with the right people and shield your mind. I don't watch the news. I can't believe some people literally sit down and watch the news. The news just bombards you with negativity. That's what people watch. That's what catches our eye. When you're going down the highway, sometimes you will, maybe usually you don't. You don't think, oh, how pretty is that tree? How beautiful is that? Until it's on fire, right? That's why we have traffic, even if the accident is on the other side. We are attracted to negativity for whatever reason. I mean, we can get into studies about that. I'm sure there's plenty. But we are attracted to negativity. So unless you specifically train your mind to be the opposite, to be attracted to positivity, and to project positivity, you're constantly repeating negative thoughts to yourself. So you need to take control of your mind. You need to transform your mind in order to think rich. Even if you are rich, you might still be thinking like you're poor. And when you combine all these four realities, if you really take time to understand, maybe watch this video back. I'm coming up on 40 minutes. I've been talking for a while. Rewatch this video, save it for later, subscribe for more videos. But these four realities, if you really hone in on them, you'll start becoming free instead of rich. Even if you're not rich, you'll start feeling like you're free. And that's what life is really about. Now we can put the practical steps, which again, if you want to come work with me and my team, the applications are in my bio or description. If you want to come work with my team, diversify your income, they are also there. So fill out whichever one applies to you. I'm looking for good people to continue expanding. For now, I will just see you in the next video. I hope this helped. Let me know if it did. If not, that's cool. All right, bye.